Hello again, everyone, and welcome to TV31 on 1. We continue this week with our conversation with Coach Holder. This is our 4th episode in the series with Coach Holder, a total of 6 altogether. This week, we talked to Coach about a lot of things. We talked to Coach about taking over again as the head coach. We talked to him about the things that he learned and the gift that he was given by Coach Labron Harris once he took over. We talk also about the pressures of being the golf coach at Oklahoma State. And one of the things that Coach has always done and always talked about is making sure that his coaches are allowed to coach. And if there's ever been one solid message that we have always heard from Coach Holder, it is that this experience is about the kids. It's about the student athlete and the experience they have while they're here at Oklahoma State. We touch on that as well. But we also talk about, and we get to this pretty early on this week, the 25-cent versus the golf ball bet that he had on a daily basis with Labron Harris. That and much more coming up as we take a quick break. We'll continue with this edition of TV31 on 1.
The Hideaway since 1957. The Hideaway is famous for a lot of things, including their off-the-charts fried mushrooms, incredible service, unbeatable lunch specials, and, of course, the one-of-a-kind pizza. Stillwater's pizza tradition begins and ends here, from the big country to the pizza of the gods. And even the sizes are famous, from the mini personal to the big kahuna. Like us on Facebook for unique offers, lunch or dinner, dine-in, pickup, or delivery. The Hideaway, 230 South Mount Block, or call 372-4777. More than a restaurant, it's a tradition.
Charlie's Discount Drug, where we know our customers by name. Oh, yeah. Charlie's Discount Drug.
When you buy a new set of tires, the best way to make your investment last is by making sure your vehicle is aligned to avoid unnecessary wear and tear. Direct Discount Tire at Stillwater has the newest state-of-the-art machine that only takes seconds to test your vehicle. It's called the Hunter Drive-Thru Alignment System, first of its kind in Oklahoma, and it's free. It's as simple as driving through this high-tech sensor rack and immediately getting your results. Point S is also your source for Michelin, BF Goodrich, and Hankook. And to make your investment last longer, ask to get a free assessment on your alignment. Direct Discount Tire at the corner of 6th and Main in Stillwater. So let's move into coaching. 1973. You remember your very first recruit?
Yeah, it was, well, Coach Harris got Tom Jones for me out of Tulsa, and yeah, that was a really big deal. And then I tried to recruit Joe Walser's son, Steve. Joe played golf for us, and he was the head pro at, I think, Lake Hefner at the time in Oklahoma City. And Jim Autry was the golf coach at OU, and he had beaten me to the starting line and already had a commitment from Steve Walser. I mean, I just couldn't believe that one of our legacies we were going to play for the Sooners. But Coach Harris got me Tom Jones, who made first-team All-American his freshman year. And then that summer, Coach Harris took me and Roy Bays to Brazil to do some kind of barnstorming tours, and he gave some lessons. And I met Jamie Gonzalez over there. He was a great amateur player who never even thought about going to college. And I figured anybody that good, we could sure figure out a way to get him in school. So that was my first recruit.
1973, the tournament was at Stillwater, right? Stillwater Country Club?
Yeah, that, I got the job. They gave me the job, say, in May, and then the NCAA was in June, Coach Harris's last tournament.
Okay, so that was Coach's last tournament in 73.
Yeah, and then I took over in July and started recruiting everybody.
So the runner-up team was his last year at Stillwater Country Club, yeah. So obviously, you look, he won a championship in 1963, and then 1973 runner-up. So obviously, you inherited a pretty good team.
Absolutely, but there were 4 seniors on that team.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
So quick turnaround.
Yeah, that's why Tom Jones was a big deal, and Jamie Gonzalez being a great player that freshman year is a big deal. Actually, crazy as it sounds, Nebraska probably had the best golf team that year, that first
Wow.
year of mine. And then OU was real formidable. So when we managed to improve enough through the year to win the conference championship, that was a really big deal for us.
I want to go back to your relationship with Coach Harris. What was that relationship like? Was it player coach? Was it he was domineering? Was it he was instructional? Was he fatherly? What was your relationship with Coach Harris?
He was the best player on the team for as long as he coached until Greer Jones came along. He beat everybody. And he was ultimate competitor, and he had a work ethic second to none. So he worked harder than everybody on the team. And if you were willing to come out there and be around him, he would. I mean, he just oozed knowledge, and so he forced me to get better. I was either going to get better or I'd quit. And he had a standard game, which was, well, he would play anybody for any amount of money in any of this part of the world. They, hustlers and gamblers would come from all over to play him.
Really?
Oh yeah. But the standard deal for the golf team was you put up 25 cents, and he kept the money. And if you beat him, he got the golf balls for free, by the way. He would give you a brand new golf ball, usually a
Wow.
Titleist. And so I showed up every day to try to beat that guy out of a golf ball. And he pounded me.
Wow.
So my freshman year, let's say, we're there 9 months, and so that's 270 days. I probably tried to play him 200. Every day I was here, I played him
Wow.
for a golf ball, and he beat me every single time. But along the way, just that competitiveness, he pulled me up to his level, and through osmosis, through hard work, through competitiveness, he identified those characteristics that it took to be really good, and he forced them out of you. And then once you got to the level where skill-wise you might have a chance to beat him, you could hit it further than him because he was 57 years old and stiff, but he had a great short game. So you could hit it further than him. You might hit the ball better than him, but he had a great short game, and he psychologically was a genius. He could talk you out of anything. So if you got down to the end and you had that, you could see that golf ball right there, you were about to grab it, he'd talk you out of it. He'd put doubt in your mind. He would put all those things in there in your head that you should never think about. So he taught you every facet of the game, and in the same process about life. So that's why I say seldom, rarely ever do you find a coach that would spend that much time with every single athlete. Anyone that was willing to come out there, invest their time, he would give you 24 hours every single day. Not 24, but 10 hours every single day.
Sure.
I'd say Dan Gable, what I know about him, he was the same kind of guy, They're just rare. And a lot of coaches are distant. He wasn't that. It was mano a mano, tooth and toenail. I mean, hand-to-hand combat, the whole bit, and serious stuff. And then he loved to needle you after he beat you. So you finished playing 9 holes, he had your money, then you'd go out to hit practice balls and you get to hear about it after. And then his idea of helping you with your game is you get to watch him hit 50 balls and comment on, is my backswing a little longer, am I doing this, am I hitting it further, and then he'd watch you hit 2 balls. But I wouldn't change it for anything.
So
I'd love to go back there and do it all over again.
the negative nature of the psychological warfare put you in such tough situations during that essentially a practice round that by the time you faced somebody that was on the collegiate level with your equal, I guess you had them whooped mentally before you ever started.
Well, yeah, he took me from just an okay high school player to a really good player.
If you haven't been to TS Fork at White Barn Estates lately, we have an exciting new concept to tell you about. It's called Thirsty Thursdays, and it includes 4 courses of the same high-quality food as our other nights, and some of the best mixed drinks you've ever had. Best of all, no reservations are required. And while you're there, relax with a drink on our covered patio and check out the gift shop with Made in Oklahoma products. Go to tsfork.com for more details and to check out our upcoming special menus.
To all of our neighbors, friends, the people we see every day, we come to you today with no news or announcement. but to let you know what's on our hearts. Because quite simply, we feel honored. You're the reason that what we do is so much more meaningful than a job. The reason we believe in the power of investing in tomorrow. But you're also the reason we believe in the power of sharing the same neighborhoods and a loyalty that's bigger than any challenge. So this is simply thank you. Thank you for the opportunity to move forward and grow, but never lose sight of the roots that connect us. As we step boldly into a time of change and innovation, consider this our promise that every investment in our hospital is an investment in our communities. Because you're the reason we love what we do and love where we live.
The McCafe is now featuring cold brew coffee and cold brew frappes. Face the day with a cold brew coffee from the McCafe with a rich cold brew coffee blended with ice for a creamy frozen drink that's colder than cold brew. Or refresh with a cold creamy frappe. We start with a cold brew coffee, blended ice, and topped with whipped cream and rich chocolate drizzle for a great anytime frozen treat. McDonald's in Stillwater, Perkins, Perry, and Cushing. I'm loving it. Kent and Barbara Houck have been saying they're a one-stop shop for many years. In 1951, the Houck Agency began insuring Oklahomans and since has expanded to insure people in 11 states across the country. The Houck Agency can find the policy that fits your needs from business health coverage, individual health, home, auto, and long-term health care policies. They have a staff that can take care of financial planning, including retirement and investing. And Barbara Houck has been a realtor for over 35 years, and her contacts helped her buy and sell homes and commercial properties across the state. One-stop shop, the Houck Agency, 801 South Main in Stillwater. Call statewide toll-free at 800-543-8588. The Houck Agency, when experience counts.
Welcome back to TV 31 as we continue our conversation with Coach Mike Holder, the athletic director at Oklahoma State, former golf coach at Oklahoma State, won 8 national championships while he was there. And of course, he attributes a lot of his success not just to his players, but to his former coach. And wanted to talk to Coach about the philosophies of Coach Harris and himself, talk a little bit about how he was shaped by Coach Harris. And we talk a lot about some of the things that were involved in him overcoming his shyness and getting to a point where this program could win a national championship. So when you became the head coach, how much of that did you emulate?
Well, I think it's just human nature. You watch your coach all that time, and you think you're smarter than him. So I'm gonna change a lot of these things. I'm gonna do it differently, and I'll be doggone. 1 year, 5 years. The longer it went, the more like him I got. Yeah. He was a really, really smart guy.
So, because it's funny because you and I were having a conversation before we even started this. Sometimes coaches think they're the smartest people in the room, and sometimes they are. So, but even you were susceptible to that, at least initially.
Sure, everyone is. Rare is someone mature enough to overcome human nature. There's that quote that I love. It says, "If youth knew, if age could." That's the story of coaching, education, and life right there in a nutshell, just a few words. If youth knew, if age could. If I knew what I know now, back when I was 23 years old, give me the same players again. I don't want to change careers. I don't want to go play the PGA Tour. You could tell me that I would be very successful, making a lot of money. I'd tell you I'd rather do what I did. I just want to do it better. And I would really like to go back and be in junior high school again or grade school again and relive all that. But for darn sure, go back to Oklahoma State University and play 4 years for Laban Harris and really, really appreciate and understand the gift that I was given in those 4 years. And as an athletic director, if there's anything that frames or shapes my beliefs and my philosophy, it's that. It's founded in every athlete's important. It's not just football and basketball players. Every athlete, male, female, doesn't make any difference. They're all important. They all have the same dreams, hopes, aspirations. If you have someone that wants to be great and is dreaming big, then you need to embrace them and give them the opportunity to achieve their dreams and greatness, whatever that looks like. And I got that from Coach Harris, that appreciation of what he gave me and how much that meant to me in my life. I want that for all our athletes.
Did you, again, the shyness in which your social side had and meeting Robbie and talking about that, did that appear, or did that did it affect you as a coach initially? Because
sure.
It did. But see, that surprised me because you were so serious and so intentional and so purposeful in your golf game that I would think that you'd be okay there.
Oh, I was so immature in so many ways. I was traumatized the first team meeting we had for his freshman year. We'd go in the back room of the clubhouse, and there's probably 30 golfers in there, all different classifications, trying out for the team. Some had been on the team, some were new like me. And Coach Harris had every single one of us stand up and give our name and where we're from. Holy smokes. I have to get up in front of all these people and say something.
Right.
I was petrified.
Well, what about as a coach that first year? Even then? Or
well,
had you kind of overgotten?
Yeah, no, it bothered me. And so the same meeting, same circumstances, 30 probably athletes on our team. And the gift that Coach Harris gave me was he came to that meeting with me and he said, I'm going to introduce your new coach. And I'd been teammates with a few of those guys.
Yeah.
So this is Mike Holder. He's no longer Mike. He's no longer your friend. He's your coach, and you'll refer to him as Mr. Holder or Coach Holder. And he walked out of the room. And he never offered me any advice unless I asked for it. He never meddled in anything. He turned the whole program over to me. And gosh, the older I got, the more I appreciated that, because it's so hard for someone, well, like him. He founded the program in 1947, and he had been the only coach. And he coached 27 years, and he shouldn't have retired. He was only 65 years old, and he was still playing high-level golf, but I don't know if it was mandatory or somebody convinced him he's too old to coach, but he stepped down. I think in his prime, should have kept right on coaching, but he never meddled. How hard is that to do when it's yours and you've built it to what it is today?
The Hideaway since 1957. The Hideaway is famous for a lot of things, including their off-the-charts fried mushrooms, incredible service, unbeatable lunch specials, and, of course, the one-of-a-kind pizza. Stillwater's pizza tradition begins and ends here, from the big country to the pizza of the gods. And even the sizes are famous, from the mini personal to the big kahuna. Like us on Facebook for unique offers, lunch or dinner, dine-in, pickup, or delivery. The Hideaway, 230 South Knobloch, or call 372-4777. More than a restaurant, it's a tradition.
Whether you're a local, new in town, or just stopping in for a visit,
The place to be this August is America's friendliest college town.
kick off the school year with Cowgirl Soccer.
Fill the stands as the Cowgirls take on Tulsa
Let Elvis be your personal guide to an exotic evening.
as he whisks you away to Blue Hawaii with some of his greatest hits. Take a step back in time with the Oklahoma Harness Horse Association and enjoy the pleasure driving show this August.
With school back in session and fall right around the corner,
It's time to grab your orange gear at the University Store in the Student Union.
catch the Barnyard Olympics or the Pet Parade. Enjoy the Ferris wheel and funnel cakes. You can do it all at the Payne County Free Fair and Carnival.
Don't miss a beat in America's friendliest college town.
Check out our full listing of events at visitstillwater.org.
Kent and Barbara Houck have been saying they're a one-stop shop for many years. In 1951, the Houck Agency began insuring Oklahomans and since has expanded to insure people in 11 states across the country. The Houck Agency can find the policy that fits your needs, from business health coverage, individual health, home, auto, and long-term health care policies. They have a staff that can take care of financial planning, including retirement and investing. And Barbara Houck has been a realtor for over 35 years, and her contacts helped her buy and sell homes and commercial properties across across the state. One-stop shop, the Houck Agency, 801 South Main in Stillwater. Call statewide toll-free at 800-543-8588. The Houck Agency, when experience counts.
Hi, Casey Kendrick along with Tom Dorado, inviting you to join us for Out of Bounds Weekly, Tom, from guys like Mike Boynton, Jim Littell. We've talked to basketball coaches, football coaches. We talked to softball coaches. Nobody is off the radar on this show.
No, and hopefully they want to come on as much as we want to have them on. We have a good time with it. It gives you an opportunity to get behind their program. They tell you things that you maybe might not see in the newspapers or whatever. And we just have a good time on this show. It's expanded over the years for sure. Not time-wise, but we've expanded the scope. How's that sound? The scope has been expanded.
If you want to see the expanded scope, you can really see it Tuesday mornings at 10 o'clock, because Tuesday mornings we do a show called Out of Bounds Raw. And it is nothing but the ugliness of putting a show together.
Oh, the ugliness.
It's a lot of fun seeing that show. Then the edited versions are Tuesday nights at 8 o'clock, Thursday nights at 8 o'clock, and Saturday mornings at 9 a.m. It is Out of Bounds from our Oklahoma Ag Credit Studios, only here on TV31. Welcome back to TV31 on 1, and as I said in the open, Coach Holder said that he always wants to let his coaches coach, and we talk about that coming up here in just a little bit. We also talk about the one thing that he wanted to do with Labron Harris as a head coach was be better than Labron Harris. But he had some advantages that Coach Harris did not have, and yet he will still tell you Coach Harris was the better coach. And okay, so again, and that obviously opens up a door and a huge question about your style, because you and I have had this conversation. We had this conversation when you came on when Coach Underwood left. You came on and you and I had a really, really candid conversation, one that I still tell you is I've got more response from that one conversation than any conversation I've had on the radio. But in that, we talked about the fact that the pressure that exists for golf coaches at Oklahoma State, because the former golf coach of 32 years and an 8-time national champion is there. And there's a presumption that you still have major influence. But as I've gotten to know you, you have said to me many times, and some people raise it, when I say this to other people, they go, come on, seriously? You let coaches coach. You let your golf coaches coach. Even though I know there's an innate pressure because you're there, and they do have admiration for you and what you did there.
No,
but
I'm not so sure.
I think they do. I no doubt Mike McGraw did, and there's no doubt Alan Bratton does. So there's such an incredible pressure there. They will tell you there's more internal pressure from themselves than there's any from anywhere else. But there's got to be pressure because you're there, because of what you did. Even if you don't medal,
Probably.
it's still there, right?
Probably.
But you didn't. But you didn't feel that from Coach Harris, at all.
Well, I wanted to be better than him. I mean, he instilled that in me. I tried to beat him every day out of that quarter. I darn sure wanted to be a better golf coach than him. You know, and so I set about trying to do better than him. And I had an advantage. He was so frugal and never gave his full allotment of scholarships. And I realized that and he was better at developing talent than I was, but I made up my mind I was going to be more like the coach at Houston. I was going to recruit some real players and see where that took me. So that first year we finished 5th in the nation. The second year we finished 2nd. The third year we won the national championship. And we should have won probably the next 8 in a row. You know, I should have won every one of them. I got a little, maybe it came too easy, you know, maybe I didn't appreciate it. Maybe I just like immaturity, all that stuff. But I give Coach Harris the credit for all that. He put that in me. My parents put that in me, that competitive nature. And what I want as an athletic director is for all of our athletes, regardless of sport, to have the experience that I had. And to have that experience, you must have difference makers as coaches. People that it's about life lessons and totally immersing yourself in the lives of your athletes, really caring about them, loving them, and we've got a lot of role models that, in my opinion, are as good as there is anywhere in athletics in our country today that are coaching our young men and our young women. I wouldn't know where to start to tell you who the best is. I just know that we're blessed to have a lot of great ones.
Where do you go for computer help? Gigabytes. Gigabyte staff are experts in virus removal, software updates, and faster running computers. Gigabytes also provides small business support and network support, including websites. And they do laptop screen replacements, and they do all kinds of cosmetic repairs as well. Whatever your computer needs, they are the ones that can provide you with the answers and solutions to get you up and running. Gigabytes, 918 South Main, open Monday through Friday, 10 to 6, or call 533-1715.
Charlie's Discount Drug, where we know our customers by name. Oh, yeah. Charlie's Discount Drug.
Whether you're a local, new in town, or just stopping in for a visit,
The place to be this August is America's friendliest college town.
kick off the school year with Cowgirl Soccer.
Fill the stands as the Cowgirls take on Tulsa
Let Elvis be your personal guide to an exotic evening.
as he whisks you away to Blue Hawaii with some of his greatest hits. Take a step back in time with the Oklahoma Harness Horse Association and enjoy the pleasure driving show this August.
With school back in session and fall right around the corner,
It's time to grab your orange gear at the University Store in the Student Union.
catch the Barnyard Olympics or the Pet Parade. Enjoy the Ferris wheel and funnel cakes. You can do it all at the Payne County Free Fair and Carnival.
Don't miss a beat in America's friendliest college town.
Check out our full listing of events at visitstillwater.org.
To our neighbors and friends, we come to you today to let you know what's on our hearts. Because you're the reason what we do is so much more meaningful than a job. The reason we believe in the power of investing in tomorrow and the power of community. So this is simply thank you. As we step boldly into a time of growth and change, consider this our promise that every investment in our hospital is an investment in our communities.
If you haven't been to TS Fork at White Barn Estates lately, we have an exciting new concept to tell you about. It's called Thirsty Thursdays, and it includes 4 courses of the same high-quality food as our other nights, and some of the best mixed drinks you've ever had. Best of all, no reservations are required. And while you're there, relax with a drink on our covered patio and check out the gift shop with Made in Oklahoma products. Go to tsfork.com for more details and to check out our upcoming special menus.
Interesting. Coach Holder says that Coach Harris was a better coach, yet he won 1 national championship, and Mike Holder won 8. But again, the philosophy and his approach and everything that he means to coach, I think Coach truly believes that Coach Harris was a better coach. I think when you put it all together and look at what both of those two men meant to the golf program, I'd say it's a pretty good race. Next week on the show, when Coach won his first national championship, who did he call? Who was the first person he wanted to visit with? The answer may or may not surprise you, depending on how well you know Mike Holder. Episode 5 coming up next week. We'll see you then right here on TV 31 on 1.